Hi, Bob. I just want to real quick go over my second video evidence. This is for element 6 submission. And the areas that I'm focused on this one are proficiency scales, proficiency scale instruction, and engagement. There's also some other things in here, definitely for efficiency and agency. Belonging and esteem are both really big on that one too. I've kind of already covered those on an element 5 video. So if necessary, I can go over those again, but I'd rather not at this time. This video is happened at the beginning, and I did want to record this just so you could see it. But this is the end of our enrichment time, so the students come through, and the head supervisors are running it, and they read off the links, and they read off who their star students are, and they give kudos and all that stuff. And so I wanted you to see that. It's nice. It's a really nice thing that happens in the classroom, and the kids do a really good job with it. And so that rolled right into a standard operating procedure for us that we were doing. The kids have been rather chatty during instruction time, and so today we did some lessons on this, and we implemented this. We did brainstorming on this earlier, and then the students the students came up with this piece that's up here right now, this map, and then I went ahead and published it and put it onto a piece of paper. So anyways, those are neither of those things are things that I'm highlighting in this submission, but I wanted to make sure that it just happened so that I recorded that as well, and it worked out well to show you. So ultimately, we're getting to the proficiency scales, where we taught a lesson on, or we've been teaching lessons for writing, and this one was an introduction of a learning target that we did yesterday or day before, 2 days ago maybe. And so the kids were practicing that. They came in from recess here, and this is where it happened. So we had, it's W205. You can hear in the video, I asked the kids, I'm like, what learning target is that? And they know W205 because we do a good job of having the kids have learning targets in their hands and talking about them and being very transparent about it. And so it's a huge part of our classroom, a huge part of our instruction. These proficiency scales I have developed. This right here is my work, and I took this from you, this part right here, and then I liked, and this one doesn't seem to have it. I liked you had a tracker in the NASOT down here that tracked teacher progression towards your goals. I really liked that, so I modified that for the student proficiency progression, because I want them to see, how track their learning, track the scores that they're getting, and see if there's any correlations between that and anything else. We track effort, and so it's nice to see if there's a correlation between the scores and effort. So the students do that, and anyway, so this is always in their hands. They have one of these for everything, and so this video just kind of shows that that happening in real time, where I have the students call them up and I have them take a look at their they open up their data notebooks and they pull this out, and they know we've gone over this one before, so they knew it. And so then we went over to the back side and talked about what's the maximum achievable score on this one, what the score 2 content was that was building up to that. I believe at this one we even talked about what's the difference between the score 2 and the score 3, and why isn't this a score 3, and what would we need to make it a score 3. So we have a lot of those kind of conversations. So that's definitely, that fits my proficiency scales. For the proficiency scale instruction, this was one that, like I said, we had worked on. This was the second part. What we did is we taught a lesson. It was a Nearpod lesson. Nearpod's a program that I use. And it was on revising and editing, and it talked about use these mnemonic devices, cups and arms, cups for editing and arms for revising. And you see it in the video. We went over that, and the students knew those well. And then after that lesson, we went out into the hallway, and the students we did a gallery walk, and I tried recording all this. It didn't work out. And so the students ended up, we do a gallery walk in the hallway where I tape them up to the walls, and the students go around and they revise and edit each other's writing using cups and arms and specific look-fors that we discussed. And so then this was the follow-up lesson for that, where they had their rough drafts that had been marked up. They had their plus deltas, which we call it the things I'm doing good, because it started off where kids were like, things I'm doing good, things I'm doing bad. And we're really, the growth mindset, we're really big into this. And so, it said things you're doing well, and then it would be even better if, and so that's kind of the language that we're using, and so the students they took a hold of that one. They like that too. And so they were out there in the hallway, and they did that. They brought them back in, and so this was the follow up to say, okay, hey, now we've done this. You've done the revising and editing. Now it's time for you to go about, making any final corrections within your writing. And so the students, after this lesson, they went back and did that. As I'm talking now, I'm also thinking that during this, after this part of the proficiency scale where I had them go, I did have them do one thing beforehand, which was working on the Marzano on your this HRT process and the survey for my student goals. And so I told them about my goals. We talked about the metacognitive and life skills, and then I gave them this assessment using Google Forms. And so I included that as a part of feedback. This is the second survey that they took today. The other one they took today for me was, no, not that one, was a status check. And so this is just another way that I go about getting feedback. The status check is about, what's your favorite thing from class, what's your least favorite, what can we do better, finish a statement, I wish we could, and what should we do next. And so it's kind of, we're getting to the point where we're done with one unit, and I want to find out where the interest is and where the interest goes. So I haven't even looked at the data on this one yet. I'm excited to see what they're saying for what should we do next, and I really can't wait to see I wish we could, because I'm looking for those bigger ideas of what kinds of things we can do. So this is definitely a part of assessment and feedback, and so I'll be adding that on here as well. That not obviously not the assessment part, but feedback, and more so feedback that I'm asking for from the class. So that's where I'm at on this video and this item. And like I said, not only is it the proficiency scales and proficiency scale instruction, but it's really more so even just a bigger idea of how my classroom works, and so you can see how that is belonging and self-esteem and some efficacy and agency as well. All right, thanks for watching.